there has always been a love-hate relationship between PR, public relations, and marketing. A lot of professionals see them as two sides of a coin, and thus think that they should be chosen over each other at different points in time. While some other professionals think that there are two things that should work together every single time. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the differences and similarities between marketing and public relations. First, let me explain what these two terms are. Marketing is in its simplest form is simply the promotion or advertising or selling of a company's product or service. While public relations, commonly referred to as PR, is a communication process that focuses on building trust, building relationship, and fostering a positive reputation for a brand with the general public. To do justice to this topic for me is my friend Joyce, quote-unquote, Imeigha. She's a public relations expert. She has done PR for about 6 or 7 years. She runs Elite Resources, which is a talent and event management company, and also a public relations company, and she has worked with a lot of brands. So whenever I have anything that has to do with public relations for clients, she's literally the first person I call to go on that job with me. So guys, let's meet Joyce and let's analyze public relations versus marketing. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Peace.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for coming with me to do this video. I've been trying to get you to do it for months. Just to put it out there. So I'm glad that we're finally doing it.
Yeah,
so today we're talking about PR and marketing.
Yes.
I'm the marketing professional, you're the PR person. So the way this video is going to flow is that I'm going to be talking about marketing, and she's going to be doing defending PR, and so we'll talk about the key differences from both perspectives. So let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Off the top of your head, what do you think is the first difference between public relations and PR?
Okay, so aside the obvious, which is the definition, I would say the goal.
The goals, okay.
Yeah, so the goal differentiates what PR and marketing
So
does.
typically, what's the goal of a PR campaign?
To foster the image and reputation in favor of a brand, an individual, an organization, or a cause.
Yeah, so that's like building trust and credibility.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So for marketing, the goal will always differ, right? Sometimes it's awareness, sometimes it's lead gen, sometimes it's sales, sometimes it's top of mind awareness, sometimes it's to actually foster trust and credibility. Marketing never really has one goal. It typically will change from brand to brand, campaign to campaign, season to season, but there are like different things that can happen. There are different results you can get when it comes to marketing. So yes, you can foster trust and credibility, but from my understanding, I know that when brands really want to build relationships over a long period of time, they will want to go the PR way. But they want to get like immediate results, and then they go the marketing way, run a campaign and get something done immediately. Another key difference that I can remember is based on the day-to-day activities and channels.
Yeah.
So typical marketing has different channels, right? There's traditional marketing, there's digital marketing. And under digital marketing, there's like a lot. There's email, social media, there's analytics, there's so many different forms of channel, so many channels available for marketing. And the day-to-day activities would be typically centered around creation and distribution of content. So I have a particular campaign. The first question is, after understanding my target audience, is understand, okay, what kind of content do we want to create? What kind of creative do we want? Image, videos, let's create that. And then to what channels? Is it traditional or digital? Are we going to distribute this content on? But what's it like when you're trying to run a PR campaign? What are the activities and channels or distribution channels available?
Okay, so first things first, just like marketing,
Yeah.
PR also has the traditional and digital distribution channels.
Ah.
So for traditional channels, we'll be looking at TV, a newspaper, radio, events, and all of that. And then for digital, we have website, blogs, social media, which is like one of the most powerful channels right now, even for marketing.
Yeah.
And so the day-to-day activity of a public relations professional would go from writing stories about upcoming and even already existing products, writing about events, upcoming events, pitching stories to journalists and editors. We would also find us pitching speaking engagements for company executives and the likes of that.
So I have a question. So I said marketing, we have traditional and digital. and I listed social media, video, and the rest. And then you talked about PR channels, and you said it's traditional and it's digital.
Yes.
And for digital, you mentioned social media, traditional, you mentioned TV.
Yes.
These are also marketing channels.
Yes.
So for a business owner who has no idea that there's a difference between PR and marketing, how do we differentiate what is marketing and what is PR?
Okay, so PR would usually come in form of stories, announcements, and goodwill messages.
So it would seem more organic.
Yes, it is actually positioned to seem more organic, while marketing is typically advertising.
Yes, that's very true. So yeah, marketing would typically focus on advertising so we can get like immediate results.
Yes.
So there's a part of what doing organic. So if we're doing social media, for instance, social media management can be organic. They can also be paid a part of it. We can do video. There's organic part, but it's paid. But you always see that there are very clear call to actions, right?
Yes.
So there's always a do this after you see a marketing material. For PR, it's more consume the content, get the story, and then hopefully talk about it, right? But for marketing, there's usually a clear CTA, there's usually a clear call to action, because we want immediate result. We want to get something. We want you to get to our website. We want you to follow us on social media. We want you to buy. We want you to drop your email address. We want you to do something. So
Yes.
our messaging, our content would typically have a very clear call to action.
But for PR, it's basically influencing the perception of the public.
So can you think about another difference between marketing and PR, aside the day-to-day activities, channels, and goals?
So there's also the target audience to consider.
How so?
Yeah, so the target audience for public relations typically spans over the general public.
Oh, okay.
You know, so we're talking about customers, we're talking about investors, we're talking about suppliers, we're talking about vendors, we're talking about employees as well, and then there's also the media to consider: journalists, editors, writers, and all of that.
So everybody.
Basically everybody who would be interested in knowing, you know, what this organization is doing.
So the more people who hear our story, the better for the brand.
Exactly. So so what PR does is, even if you're not interested, we're going to put it out there, and who knows, it just might interest you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no...
So marketing is a bit different in sense that, I mean, because we are very data driven, right?
Yes.
So there's always that whatever we do has to give results immediately. So it's usually more targeted. The most effective marketing campaigns are the campaigns that are very, very precisely targeted, right? So we strive on targeting, understanding who our target audience is, where are they, how exactly do they want to be spoken to, and then give it to them at the right time with the right context, right? Okay. But there's sometimes, and for some brands, where their target audience is everybody. Like a brand like an Indomie or Coca-Cola, for instance, they advertise to everybody. But then there are other brands that their target audience is more niche, and that's where marketing for them really comes in, because the very popular brands who serve everybody, they can fully rely on PR because everybody. Yes. But when I now want to do more specific campaigns because of kind of brand I am, or because of my goal, then marketing comes in play. So when I said goal, I'm saying, okay, for instance, if I'm doing an awareness campaign for a new brand, even if my target audience are only women, for instance, I can decide to do an awareness campaign for everybody. So even the men can talk to their wives or their sisters, their girlfriends about my brand. But when I'm not doing a lead generation or a sales campaign, my goal has changed. Hence, I have to be very precise in my targeting.
Okay, but then just like what you said, there are also certain PR campaigns that are more targeted, you know, than the general campaigns. So, say for example, Nivea is launching a new skincare product, so they're most likely going to target women primarily.
For that story.
Yes, before targeting the general public.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Another thing I can think about is cost. I have the perception that PR is more expensive, and so it's harder for small businesses to do than marketing. And here's why. Okay. So, so you know, marketing typically there's organic and there's paid, especially for the digital marketing platforms. Yeah. So a small business that has no funding, is bootstrapping, can do social media marketing with no budget, right? And then if they say, okay, I want to start advertising, they can use as little as $5, 1,800 naira, and market and still reach a lot of people and even get results from that one day $5 campaign, right? A bigger business can have a budget of $500, they will still have results. They can use $5,000, they will still have results. So regardless of your size and your goal, the cost works in your favor. And for most marketing campaigns, again, especially digital, you control how much you spend. Right? Nobody's dictating to you that, oh, this is our reach, this is our... No, you can decide that, okay, this is how long I want to run my campaign for, and this is how much I have to spend. So I feel like it's easier for small businesses to utilize marketing channels, digital marketing channels especially, than it is for me to say I want to do PR. Am I wrong? Okay, well, ironically, we actually believe that PR is actually less expensive than marketing. Huh. Yes, because... Defend it. PR actually thrives on earned media. So this means that we have to do a lot of convincing to reporters, journalists, and editors to, you know, write about what we are promoting. Yeah. So we do not actually pay for placement, you know. So you have to
all the time, not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time, but you have to pretty much earn the placement, because that is what breeds the organic nature of PR. So as against where in marketing, where you guys pay for, you know, ad spaces and all of that, we actually depend more on earned media. Yes. So it is only when you're going overboard, you know, like with major organizations who launch major PR campaigns, that is when PR becomes more expensive or becomes expensive. So if I just want to sell a narrative, or I have maybe this amazing CSR activity we've done in my company, or I have this announcement that is very compelling. Like if I have a very compelling story, it's easy for me to pitch as a one-man personal brand and actually get featured organically on news platforms? Well, not really. You're still going to need a PR professional to do the pitching for you, because we have already, we invest most of our time in building relationships with media personnel. So you're still going to have, you still will need a PR professional and probably have them on a retainer to pitch stories. But then you then focus more on you having the stories than on spending money to distribute the content. Yes, you do. Makes sense. And just hope that, you know, the media contacts would be interested in your story enough to put it up. And then one other difference between marketing and PR is, you know, with marketing, if you say you want to start your campaign today, or at most get it reviewed in one business day, you know that in 24 hours you're actually, you know, but with PR, you can never tell when they'll put up a story. Yeah, when they'll put it up, because it is organic in nature, you understand? So it now depends on your relationship with the writers and the journalists to be able to fast track, you know, most of these things. But your fate is pretty much in the hands of the media with PR. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I just learned that. It is a good thing. You know why? Because people can spot an advert, right? True. Yeah, and people tend to believe stories more. True. Yes. So, but I mean, so I mean, with marketing now, we're trying to be as more emotional, to tell more stories. So it's not just, hey, come and buy, but there's the emotional connection in there. This is why you should buy. This is why you should buy. So it's more like convincing you to love the brand. So you know it's an advert you're consuming, but instead of that, oh, I don't want to see this, I'm like, okay, this is branded content. But it's branded content that I love and actually want to interact. And that's where what marketing is going to, and that's why it's becoming more effective. So say, maybe it's now bringing elements of PR, of building trust and credibility, and making it marketing content, and then putting money into it, and then using it as advertorial. Yeah, actually, marketing is actually beginning to steal public relations, communication strategies, and they're beginning to implement them. And I think it's also a good thing, because people no longer consider marketing as rigid as before. So while marketing is saying, this is why we want you to buy, so come and buy, public relations is saying, this is why we decided to create this for you, because we know you would need it. So and that's kind of language you're actually using now. Yes. So I think another thing that struck me while we were talking is timing, right? The immediacy of putting out stuff. When it comes to marketing, I can decide to do a campaign today, start a campaign today, and start getting measurable results today. But PR, from my understanding, is something that takes time. Yeah, for you to build that trust and credibility, it has to be done consistently, repeatedly, over time. Marketing is the same thing-ish, in the fact that for you to really get results and build a relationship with your brand, people still need to see you over and over again. You can't just run one campaign, get results, and move away. It should be continuous. But it's easier to get immediate results as you're doing a conversion focused campaign than it is for PR. right?
Yeah. So the difference and similarity with that in terms of timing is, yes, it takes more time to build
to get that result.
Yes, to build an image credibility, right? But then the result is always long term. You enjoy it long term on a long term basis than marketing. So with marketing, once you're done with the campaign, it ends and that's it. But with PR, you still find people talking about it, and people, you know, people still remember most PR efforts than marketing efforts. So marketing is usually a spur of the moment kind of thing, but then there's longevity with public relations.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Makes me feel like I want to do more PR for myself. Okay. And then finally, let's talk about success metrics. Right.
Yeah.
We've talked about results, timing. So this timing, what metrics do you typically measure over time when you're doing PR for a brand?
Okay, so public relations professionals usually define success with the amount of media coverage they get over a period of time, and also the relationships they have built with the media and key audience. So basically, what is the media and our target audience talking, or what are they saying about our brand? What are they saying about this initiative that we just launched? So that is basically it. So it means if people are not talking about the brand, it means that they did not get the message that we were trying to portray. Or basically, if people are not saying what we desire of them, it means that we did not change the perception of the brand that we're representing. So basically, the result is usually very apparent, and it is not in your control. So it's not in the numbers and data that you get off marketing. It's in what people say, how people feel.
So it's the perception that you're able to create
basically,
over time.
Yes, and you have to actually look out for what people are saying.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for marketing, it's usually clearly defined. And it was like when I talked about goals. If our goal is awareness, we know exactly what we're measuring.
Yeah.
We're measuring reach, or measuring social mentions. If our result is this generation, how many leads are we getting? If our result is conversion, what's our customer acquisition per what customer? So they are usually very clearly defined success metrics for every single marketing campaign I run. So you know that if I'm putting money and effort and time into this, then this is exactly what I'm going to get afterwards, and you can measure it with different tools at every point in time. Yes. And I think that's one of my favorite things about marketing, the fact that you know you're not just doing stuff and hoping that, oh, I will get this over after 6 months, but from day 1, day 2, you can start seeing if your campaign is going to do well or not, and you can start tweaking and optimizing at every single point in time. Yeah. Any last words or any other thing that you would think that we missed?
Okay, so popular opinion is that, you know, it's either marketing or PR, but
yeah, I think
the truth is they cannot exist without each other.
Like we can't exist without each other.
Yeah. So yeah, marketing needs public relations to thrive, and PR needs marketing to thrive. So if the product is not great, you know, public relations cannot tell great stories about the product, you know. And if public relations cannot tell great stories about the product,
it'll be harder to get customers to actually buy with marketing.
Because people are moved by stories and perception and all of that. So
yeah, I totally agree. I think it's something that should always go hand in hand. When you're thinking about building your brand, you should be thinking about what can I do to make sure that I'm building credible stories and I'm driving a certain narrative for my brand over a long period of time that can get me a lot of earned and organic media, but at the same time, based on immediacy and for every KPI that I have for my business, I should also be paying attention to marketing to get those immediate results. And then PR, so PR is like building my brand long term, building a trust and credibility long term. Marketing is I need to get results at every single point so that my business can keep moving and can keep thriving, right? Yeah. And you can't pick anyone. You can't pick customers now over brand in the long term. You can't pick brand in the long term over getting customers and reach at the moment. So it has to be two things together.
And it's so, and another simple way we can put it is like, having a very beautiful restaurant, all right? So the exterior of the restaurant is really nice, so nice that you want to go in there and eat. And then when you go in there, you buy your meal, you sit down and you eat. So PR is like the exterior, you know, it's beautiful. You know that it's going to be an experience, you know, to go in there and eat. And then marketing is when you go in there, you actually buy this food, you eat it and you enjoy it. So it's a collaborative effort to draw you in and satisfy
to actually
you.
keep you there. Nice. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot from it. If you have any questions or comments or additions about PR and marketing, please drop them in the comment section below. Joyce at the Motherland Mogul on Instagram is going to be here to actually answer all your PR related questions. Please don't leave this channel without subscribing, and also turn on the bell notification button if you haven't. Peace out.
Thank you.